Hi, everybody. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, good morning, Lee.
Here we are.
How we doing?
Yeah. What day is today? Friday?
Yep, Friday.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about today?
So here we are. We forgot to look at the comments to see what people said.
Oh, okay. We could do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what people said.
Okay.
That's good. Most people do this at the end. This is how we lose our viewers in the first 7 minutes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, how you been? What are you doing? How was your weekend? Whoa, did you pick your nose?
Yeah, right.
Um,
Someone said, thanks for mentioning the Avalon Ballroom. Chet appointed me member of the Family Dog Corrective/Collective. He said, if you think you are, you are. Looks great on my resume. Peace out. Let's see.
If anybody has any questions, let's see if they have any questions.
I think the rest.
No questions.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I'm not seeing too many questions.
What's today's question?
Oh, someone says, I'd like to know if you're happy with the deals you signed, and do you see any royalties after all these years?
If I what?
Do you see any royalties after all these years? That was someone.
Am I happy with what?
Oh, with the deals that you signed.
Of course not. Why would anybody be happy with the deals they signed? I made 0 record royalties. I made like 7 albums for A&M and made 0 record royalties. Yeah, that's what I got.
So do they find a way to finagle that in the initial contract to trick you in a way?
Well,
or how does that?
There's a thing called cross-collateralization.
Okay.
And that's what record deals have in them. So if you do an album, let's say you record an album, and it doesn't recoup its expenses, then those expenses go to the next album.
Oh, I see.
And let's say you do 2 or 3 albums, and then maybe the 4th one or the 3rd one hits, then they come back and tell you, well, you owe us for those first 2 that didn't do so good.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And so they take your royalties.
I see. Wow.
And so you wind up getting 0.
Damn, that's wild.
Unless you have like the most enormous hit. But I had a pretty good hit, and I got 0, so it's possible to get 0. But I got my albums all back in a lawsuit. I guess that hasn't happened too many times in history that people got all their masters back from a record deal. But I got all my masters back from A&M.
Wow, pretty cool.
And so I own those. And so since then, I've made money off those albums because I own them now.
Yeah,
but it's only a small amount compared to in the old days when they were selling a zillion copies.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I own those all the masters, and I own all those albums. And
wow, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's really cool.
That's great.
Whatever that means. Yeah. But yeah, I made 0. 0. Wow, what a funny question.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another story. Here's a story. Once I went into Jerry Moss's office. He's like the owner of A&M Records.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very highly respected individual at the time in the music business. And so I go into his office and I'm complaining because I don't like my deal. And I'm complaining. I said, I'm not getting any money. I don't like my deal. And he tells me, oh, your deal's better than Joe Cocker's deal. And I just didn't even know what to say. You know what I mean? Like, how can 0 be, how can this deal be worse than 0? I'm getting 0. How can his deal be worse? You know?
Right.
Anyway,
wow.
So I wasn't the only one. That's my point of telling that story. That was pretty standard procedure in those days. And you think about all the money and what those albums cost for people to buy and all that shit, and what they gave the artist was such a small amount. And then they charged every fucking expense you could imagine against the artist. Like the artist is supposed to pay for their business.
Right.
Yeah, like they start a business. We'll have the artists pay. They're dumb as fuck. They'll just pay for everything. Whatever our expenses are, they'll pay for them.
Wow.
And so that's how it sort of works. To this day, that's how it works. In fact, it's even worse now.
I see. Yeah.
What they have now that I've read about, I haven't personally experienced it naturally, but they have these all-inclusive deals. It used to be the record deal. The record company got the record money. But now the record companies want an all-inclusive deal, so they get a percentage of your live performances. They get a percentage of all your merchandise, everything.
Wow.
They want a percentage of everything.
Jeez.
So before in the old days it was horrible, but now it's even worse than horrible.
Yeah.
You know, so like they want a percentage of everything now, and their rationale is, well, we're not selling hard merchandise anymore, so there's not as much money, which is bullshit because the fucking internet's so huge, they're making a ton of bread. But naturally, the artists aren't.
Damn, that's
as usual.
terrible. Yeah.
But you know, I guess they didn't start the record labels originally for the artist's benefit.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't what was on their mind.
Right.
Let's start a thing that'll help artists. I don't think that was the motive.
Right.
For anyway, yeah. So I don't feel bad. I don't complain about it ever. And nobody ever asked me that. It's a good question. I don't complain about it because what the fuck am I going to complain about? I'm so lucky, you know. In life, some people are lucky, man. I'm lucky, man. I'm just fucking lucky. I don't know what it is. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I said, how can I be so fucking lucky always? You know? I mean, I can't believe it.
That's great.
Look, I opened a restaurant, and it just like fucking everybody loved it. And I was going, what the fuck? I don't even know how to boil water. I'm the least, I least deserve success in the restaurant business. You know what I mean? I don't love food. I'm like fucking, anyway, I eat standing up. You know how you know me. Yeah. No one deserves to have success in the restaurant business less than I do. And here I have one of the most successful restaurants. I don't fucking get it, but I love it. And I love killer shrimp.
Yeah, we ate there recently. I had the halibut again.
Fuck, I love killer shrimp.
Fantastic, yeah.
My son Kevin and Brett over there have done a great job of making killer shrimp more than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing now. I can't even figure out what to eat when I go there. There's so many good things on the menu.
Yeah.
And that's really weird because normally, you know exactly what you want when you go somewhere.
Right.
I go there, everything's free, and I still can't figure out what I want, man. It's fucking impossible. There's so many good things on the menu.
There's a vast selection.
You know that. You have the same
stuff.
problem.
Oh,
yeah.
Sometimes you find stuff that you forgot was on the menu. Like, oh, yeah, they have this. This is great.
Yeah.
I haven't had that in a while.
And our biggest problem in the restaurant business, in terms of the customer's perception, is how do you put the money on the plate? Right?
Right.
Because it costs so much to eat. And you look at the plate and you don't see the money on the plate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's something that doesn't compute in your brain. So it's like, for me, that's the big struggle. In Killer Shrimp, we give nice portions in our food. We give a good, you feel like you ate when you eat there. You know, it isn't like some foo-foo portions where you feel like, wait a minute, I'm still hungry. It isn't that kind of thing, you know. But nonetheless, when you look down at the plate, you go, fuck, how do you put the money on the plate? You know, like all the behind the scenes expenses are so huge.
Right.
And so like all these things that have nothing to do with the food, you know. Anyway, it's our struggle. That's our struggle in life. How would you like to sell plates of food for a living? That's my reality. Yeah, we sell plates of food for a living. Yeah. What do you want? You want a new coat? Oh, how many plates of food is that? You know, my whole life, everything is just how many plates of food is that? You want a new car? Oh, that's 1 trillion plates of food. I don't know. You know, there you are.
There's also the ambience and the environments and the experience of that
What
restaurant.
do you mean?
Well, you know, you're selling plates of food, but you're also selling the atmosphere, right? And
Oh, yeah.
the
We have the most
experience.
amazing location. We have the best location in
really
Marina
cool.
Del Rey, the biggest marina in the universe, and we have the best location. The only restaurant in the marina with a boat dock. We have a 90-foot long boat dock. Nobody else even has a boat dock. We can fucking park yachts at our restaurant.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's amazing.
We got the best location in the fucking whole fucking Los Angeles. We go at it, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
And we got the best parking. We got the best everything. Anyway. And my son did that.
Yeah. You think he'd want to come on the show at some point and talk about that? Or
Probably not.
talk about other stuff? No?
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, I talk about it enough. This show's not about killer shrimp anyway. And killer shrimp's a love thing, you know. People just eat there and like it. I like it. I eat there.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
great.
got to be careful to not eat too much because it's free. No, it really affects you. You know, you can go cruise over there, ride my bike over there in the morning and have some fucking pie or croissants or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Pretty soon I'm like looking like the fucking Michelin man.
Michelin man,
and
yeah.
everybody's going, remember Lee? And I'm Anyway, it's really easy to do when the food's free and everybody's going, hey, try this, try that. Here's a new this, here's a new that. Anyway,
Right.
yummy, yummy.
You know what I learned about the Michelin Man? Speaking of, those Michelin star reviews that they give to hotels and stuff, it's the same guy. It's the same company. I didn't realize it's like
The tire people?
Yeah, the tire people, and the reason is because they want you to drive out to these locations because they get good review on Michelin, so your tires go bad, so you got to buy more tires.
No.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it's the same company.
Yeah, everybody.
Michelin.
They're going to increase their bottom line by serving plates of food at one restaurant in France. I like that concept. This global company.
Yeah.
I wonder. Anyway, thanks for asking me about my record royalties, my non-existent record royalties. I imagine how they would look if I would have got them. I wonder how Joe Cocker felt, because the guy was. He told me, he says Joe Cocker's deal's worse, and I thought, fuck. I never got to ask him how I felt. You know?
I always liked how he performed. You know, he had his arms out like this. Get by with a little help.
You know, he sang on my song Heidi High, and when we recorded it in the studio.
Way. That is awesome.
Or was it Keep the Circle? One of those songs. Yeah, he was there, and in another studio, I ran over, like, I need people to sing. Come sing. And he came in, and some of the people came from the A&M, the secretaries and shit. I got a bunch of people in there. Everybody was singing this song.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And it was cool.
Really
but I
cool.
didn't put anything on the album because I didn't want to be name dropping and being like some kind of wannabe fuckhead. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, and you couldn't hear anybody's voice. It was a whole bunch of people singing background, singing this sing-along kind of deal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Vocal.
Yeah.
Great. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a fun factoid. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nobody knows that one. That's the first time that's ever been said in the universe, in the whole world. Nobody's ever heard that before.
That is so cool, man.
Not that it matters to anybody. Oh, yeah, right. Hey. Fuck, man. You picked a scab off me, man, when you talk about royalties. Yeah. Wow, Dylan.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
The audience, I'm sure, has the same question.
Yep.
Our question is, how was the Rolling Stones concert?
Yeah. It was great, man. I had a really good time. It was so cool. My first time seeing the Stones. And it was so immediate that they came out. They were like, the Rolling Stones. And then they come out, and Jagger's got like a gold blazer on, real shiny gold. And Keith Richards has like this kind of St. Patrick's Day green, very bright, shiny green jacket, and they were jamming. I was looking at them. You could see them on the big screen as well. SoFi Stadium. It was really cool. First time going to SoFi, and it was great. They played one of my favorite songs. Like the second song was "You Got Me Rockin'." It's one of my personal favorites. And as soon as they played that, I thought, oh wow, this is going to be great. It's off to a really great impression right off the bat. So I had a blast.
It was a great show?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
How long did the show last?
A lot of fun. I don't know. I kind of lost track of time. I consumed an egregious amount of beer. Like we were just pounding beers back, so it all sort of just bled into each other. But it was a couple hours, I would say, like maybe 2 hours, roughly. Yeah. We walked around and hung out a little bit afterwards. But yeah, too much beer for sure.
Stumbled around?
Yeah, stumbled around. Yeah.
All that beer turns your walk into a stumble.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty incredible. I'm glad I got a chance to see them while they're still doing it.
Less than serious. You know the guy Ari Shafir?
Oh yeah, Ari Shafir, of course, yeah.
I was watching him being interviewed. Who was interviewing him? It was really interesting. He was saying that he watches zero politics. He doesn't know anything about current events. He doesn't watch any news at all on the internet. You know how everybody goes on the internet and finds all this shit that's going on?
Right.
He doesn't watch any of this stuff. He barely has a clue about anything that's going on.
Right.
And yet he's really smart and everything.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to hear his whole perspective and how he operates his life, because I sort of operate like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. Anyway, it was very interesting hearing. Well, I don't operate like that actually. Because I do see politics and shit.
Yeah, you do.
More than I'd like to. It's hard to get away from it. So he's figured it out. If you turn it on, you're inundated by this shit. But he didn't call it human suffering, which is what I call it.
Yeah.
But he called it something else. Yeah, which was similar to
Right.
he had a name for it. I'm trying to remember what it was. Anyway, I like his trip. I like hearing him talk, and
He's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, I loved his.
and he's smart and reflective and everything. He's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he had that special on YouTube called Jew.
That's a good special,
so
man.
fucking funny.
He
yeah.
talks about it in this interview and how it took him years before he felt he was a good enough comic to do that show. A lot of those bits in that show he said he'd had for a zillion years.
Wow.
But he didn't feel he could do that until he was a good enough comic to do that show. So he waited all these zillions of years, and then he finally put it together and did it.
Oh, I see.
And he and he went to what was the name of this school where a lot of the people in the school become rabbis. It's like a certain kind of religious school. He went to it in Israel because he's from Israel.
Okay.
And for a while he was, I guess, or whatever. Anyway, he went to this school there. I'm trying to remember what school it was. I'm so dumb because I can't remember these names. But anyway, it was very interesting. It was just interesting, his whole take on everything and his whole take on religion and just this whole, it was fucking great. Anyway, It was a good interview. And I'm more into him now than I was before, even though I was into him before. You know?
Right.
It's funny sometimes when you hear people talk, you really go, yeah, how cool, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Right on, yeah.
That's great.
I like that.
He had a show called This Is Not Happening. He was hosting that. It's kind of where they tell true stories about crazy shit that happened in their lifetime. So that was a good show. I don't think he's hosting it anymore, but he was the original host of that.
He's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, Ari Shafir, I like him. If you haven't checked him out, I'm sure you have, all of you. Oi. But he's cool. I guess we're going to go.
Cool, yeah.
I hope some of you stuck around longer than 7 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully.
God, the demographics, the statistics that we get are just so brutalizing.
Yeah.
It's like getting slapped in the face by reality.
Right.
Like when we hit the 7 minute mark, I was thinking, now there's like only 10% of the people are left at this point.
Right.
And the best shit comes after 7 minutes. Yeah. So my suggestion would be to stay for 9 minutes. Or if you're lucky. Anyway. Uh-oh.
There's the bell.
I gotta go. It's Richard the elevator man.
All right.
Bye, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Poof.